Let's start it off with Group A. Mexico. Always feel like I honestly always feel like they let their fans down, but are one of the host countries this time, which means they automatically qualified. A team that's only made it as far as the quarterfinals, I believe, in the past, looks to finally break free of those chains. They will have the world of crowd on their side. Mexico is a great crowd, great place to play soccer. They're led by veteran Raul Jimenez, who scored 9 of Mexico's 22 goals in 2025, and veteran coach Javier Aguirre. Now, some of these names I might get wrong. Forgive me for if the players watch. Forgive me about that. I'm gonna try my best to pronounce them as best as I can, but here we go. Aguirre is in his third stint as Mexico's coach and is their winningest coach of all time, and also the only one to win 2 Gold Cups. Not the most talented Mexican team, but an experienced one that is used to pressure. They got a lot of it, obviously, this time around. So they're gonna have to play with more chaos, is what Aguirre said, coach. I'm paraphrasing, don't know his quotes exactly, but he said he wants to play with chaos. He says most times the teams that play a pretty style of football don't really win. Um, but this Mexican team in their history has been full of bad luck, and hopefully that luck changes this time around for them. Now, South Africa, the Bafana Bafana. Only 3 appearances: 98, 2002, 2010. This will be their fourth. They don't have that extensive World Cup history. They've been eliminated in the group stage every time. And honestly, 2026 probably won't be any different. But if you need a player to watch, it's Lau Foster of Burnley, 25 years old, and carrying a massive burden on his shoulders. Hugo Brooks is their manager, who led Cameroon to the 2017 African Cup and guided Bafana Bafana through the 2026 qualifiers. So I won't say they got much of a chance, and I don't think most are looking at them as being the 2 teams to advance from this group, but anything can happen in this kind of tournament. So that brings me to South Korea, who's basically been a staple in the World Cup since '86. Their best run was in 2002 as the hosts, making it all the way to the semis, basically finishing fourth. Although after a weird game against Spain, whereas there was some controversy, the controversy wasn't from Korea. It was from the officiating. It's just like not a well officiated game, as far as I know. So a lot of iffy things happened in that game apparently, but they beat Spain. They made it to the semis where they were ultimately eliminated. They recently made it out of a tough Group H in 2022, shocking Uruguay and beating Portugal 2-1 to advance before losing to Brazil in the round of 16. For Korea, I want to mention 3 key players. For 2021-22 Premier League Golden Boot winner and current LAFC winger, Sung Hyung Min, who is considered South Korea's greatest football player. And if you check the stats, that's pretty much true. Um, he's still balling for LAFC. I remember watching him for Totem Hotspurs. He was great on that team at the time. And then Bayern Munich center defender Kim Min Jae, a former Serie A Best Defender Award winner with Napoli, will be leading the defense. And Lee Kang-in, a young PSG midfielder, who's got the experience playing with one of the titans in Europe, who just I just finished watching them win back-to-back UEFA Champions League titles. So he at least has that pedigree. He's won a golden ball with South Korea's under 20 team at the World Cup. So he has experience in winning. He has experience on the national stage, and we'll see if they can make some noise. Now, Czechia, after a 20-year wait, Czechia is back in the world stage. First appearance since the group stage exit in 2006, but this time they have the Czechian Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, I wrote that down. I shouldn't have said it. It just sounded funny because in Euro 2020, uh, the top scorers were Cristiano Ronaldo and Patrick Schick. I think that's how you pronounce it, Schick. And so I just like found that funny that those two were the top scorers. So I just called them the Schick, Ronaldo, whatever. But Shaq, now 6 years later, will look to make some real noise in his first World Cup. Again, Czechia didn't advance for 20 years, so he hasn't been able to transfer his Europe success into world success. But they do have the second longest manager in World Cup history in Miroslav Kolbeck, who took over in December 2025. Don't know how he'll manage the team, not that familiar with Kolbeck. But in this group, my prediction will be that I have Mexico and South Korea advancing. Now, out of the other two teams, who I would think is more likely to advance would be Czechia. Um, if they can upset one of the top two, Mexico or Korea. But those are the two I got moving on.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.